come here. So this has a photo path. There's a path, means there is an attachment to it. Okay, is that the journey that matters? Photo. Okay, so we are fetching this from the database. Okay, and you saw how we did it. Okay, you saw how we did our controller. So we are getting only 50. We are limiting it to 50. Okay, and we explained why, so that we give a quicker response to the user. User experience is very necessary. Okay, we want to kill the delays. Okay, then we have to still save this locally. It's very important that we do. Okay, it's very necessary that we save it locally. So I could come here. This is the response. Okay, so I could say let me see. Say local storage dot set item. I could say I'll give it a key. Okay. Then I will say ref. Though I could stringify this, but let's not stringify it and see what happens. Okay, so if I refresh again, it's up. So to check it, we come here, we go to application, we go to session storage, local storage. Okay, see it. See, so we have something here. I think we see it here. It's giving object. You see, it's giving object. You see, object. Do you want this? I don't want it. I don't want it this way. Okay, the reason why I don't want it this way is that if I should say console.log local storage.get item, and I say article, so I'm getting that same article. I've set it. I want to get it. So if we do a refresh and we come back, you see it's giving me object. You see, this is what I saved. Now I'm getting object. So perhaps there is a way to retrieve this data, but for now I don't think there is a way to retrieve this data right here. Okay, I think it's gone. We've lost this data. We've lost this payload here. So what you're getting now is object. Okay, even if I say if I do json.parse, even if I do json.parse, okay, got error, unexpected. You see, so it's as if I've lost a huge amount of information. So to prevent this, I want to say json dot stringify. I want to stringify it first. Okay, let's perhaps there is a third party out there, or another method, another way to retrieve this information. Okay, if there is a potent way, you can add it in the comment section. Okay, or send us a direct message concerning it. Okay, yeah, but we do recommend that you do a stringify, okay, first. Then when you go to fetch it, you fetch it as a string, so that when you fetch it as a string, you can now pass it, so that you bring it back to yourself. See, this is the first one, and this is the second one. See, your information is still with you. See, so if you remove this you get a string. Okay, you get a string, so you see this is a string. It's coming to you as a string because it's saved as a string right here. See, it's now a, okay, um okay, right. Okay, even if you do a string file, the funny thing is that when you do a string file, and save it, okay, when it comes to here, it presents as an object, which is very good. You see, so you have to first of all stringify it, okay, so that when you are bringing it out, you do you pass it, okay, it's an object. When you're bringing it out, you pass it, okay, so that you get back your object. Okay, so this is what I want to achieve. This is good for me at the moment because I have saved it. I've saved this resource or resources, so that the next time the user comes to this page, while they are waiting for Ajax, the reason why this is fast to respond is because we are still in development. In production, a lot of things can delay this response. It could be slow network, it could be very bad network. Okay. It could be from the server. Okay, the server is down a little bit. So as the user is waiting for the response, because we have saved this locally, you serve them this one that is saved locally. Let them see it first. Okay, let them see it. Okay, so that they don't see a white space here, like they don't see nothing. It's not good that they're not seeing anything. Maybe their 3 minutes have passed, maybe 30 seconds have passed, yet they haven't seen anything. It's not right. Okay, that design is a bit low in quality. It's a bit poor. Okay, so that's the need to save information locally. Okay, another way to do this on mobile phones is the database. Okay, if you are working on Android provides a very sufficient database. Okay, so if you're coming from PHP, MySQL, and you work with Android's database, you will not have any problem. Okay, because it's still SQL. Okay, the syntax is still not far from the original ones you work with, and the clauses, if you may, they are still the same. Okay, it's still the select and so forth, update and drop table and all that. Okay, so this is the need to save information locally. Okay, so there are other ways you can save this information. There is the index, if I'm correct, the index DBS. It's another way to save it, but to set it up, it's a bit more, it's not as easygoing as local storage or cookie. Okay, you can also use cookie. Okay, so these things are provided and they help you, the developer, optimize your app. Okay, so that now remember, it doesn't mean that you store everything. This is not kind of it's not where you kind of dump your app and that's it. It serves as a kind of a parachute to help you land properly, if I may. Okay, that is it serves to kind of, there are certain areas, especially in the area of quick response, that's where you think about storage, local storage, store things locally. Okay, just to optimize your application. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you should rely on them all the time. Okay, remember that it's quite easy to access. Okay, now also there are information, sensitive information you should not keep here, especially user password. Okay, you shouldn't keep user passwords here. Okay, okay, it's not right. Okay, to keep user passwords here because it can easily be stolen. Okay, so there are things we encourage you to read up and understand better local storage, especially when it comes to web development. Okay? There are things you shouldn't store here, sensitive information. Okay, so that's why I said that it's not a thing that you rely on heavily. Okay, so if there is another way that is more sufficient than storing locally, okay, you could think about that way. But if, like in this case, it's just an article, it's not sensitive, it's an article. Okay, so I can store it here. Okay, but I will not overflood it. That's why I did a limit. Just 50 is enough for me. Okay, just 50. Let me see, 50 of them will do just fine. Okay, I could even reduce it to 30. Okay, so I don't want to burden the user's browser with information. Okay? I wouldn't store a million entries here or stuff like that. It's not, it kind of goes against the whole thing. Even if it can handle it, it's still not, to me it's still not right. It's just a few items just to keep your page going, and that's it. You move on from it. So don't, it's not something you want to overdo. Okay? I think overdo is the word. Okay, just to kind of optimize your app and give the user a good experience. So because we have saved it locally, we could now, it is saved, this is the saved one, so we could now tap into it. Each time the user comes here, we first fetch the one that is saved locally and serve it to the user, okay, while the user is waiting for this asynchronous request to complete. Okay, so they don't have to see a progress bar at all. I don't have to use a progress bar at all. So what's left is to start distributing this data. Okay, this data right here. So there are ways you could do it. Okay, you could do your let me see, you could do an array, okay, and loop the array. So as you are looping the array, you loop it here for articles, for article titles, you loop it here. Okay, but this is React. Okay, so to because that's why I mentioned in the other videos that in React you have to, of course, adhere to the rules that govern the developer within React. So that's where the state comes in. We need this state, very important, okay, to store data and the information, and also to handle the behavior of this class, okay, and manipulate data as well. Okay, we need this state. It's very important. That's why I chose the class component. Okay, although I could use functional, okay, and use hooks. There are hooks. Okay? Hooks are not, there is no let me show you hook. It's not, just don't be thrown off by the term. Okay, it's just, these are hooks. Okay, just a way to use state. Okay, this helps us to mimic the state we use here. Okay, in class components, in functional components we use hooks. Okay, so you see, this is how you set, that is update this component. That's what it means by set. Then this is where you use it. The one you use, you do as okay, maybe here dot length, but let me just, let's, if I say dot length, you come there. Yeah, you just dot length. If it's 0, show